Well, good evening, veterans and families. We are humbled to stand before you, the men and women who sacrificed so much that we might have the freedoms that we have. We are honored and indebted to each of you. From our hearts to yours, thank you for your service and sacrifice. I'm Karen Demaree. I'm the state coordinator for the Quilts of Valor Foundation. As such, I represent the hundreds of volunteers who make and award Quilts of Valor. The mission of the Quilts of Valor Foundation is to cover service members and veterans touched by war with a healing and comforting quilt called the Quilt of Valor. With a son stationed in Iraq, our founder, Catherine Roberts, dreamt of a young man surrounded by the war demons in the middle of the night. She then visioned him wrapped in a quilt and his demeanor changing to one of hope. Thus began the journey of Quilts for Soldiers, now known as the Quilts of Valor Foundation. The first quilt was delivered to Walter Reed Medical Center by Colonel John Callerson. The quilts we award today will join the over 392,000 Quilts of Valor awarded worldwide. A Quilt of Valor is a lifetime award. Would those who have received a Quilt of Valor please stand and be recognized? I know there are some of you out there. A quilt is not a blanket. A blanket is a single layer of fabric. A quilt consists of 3 layers, and I like to think of them in these terms. The top of the quilt, with its many shapes, sizes, colors of fabric, represent the many faces in our armed forces. The center of the quilt, which contains the batting, the part of the quilt that emits warmth. Held between the layers, it represents the comfort and healing we offer you. The back of the quilt is its strength. Together with the thousands of stitches, they represent you, your families, and our communities, all coming together, supporting one another. The quilt represents the gratitude of all of our citizens for your service and sacrifice. We offer them as a tangible civilian award to thank you for the protection of our freedoms. A Quilt of Valor is priceless. It can never be bought, it is never sold, and it is never a gift. No, as we are stitching, we are remembering the sacrifice you made for us. It is a quilt which comes from the heart, the hands, and sometimes the tears of the maker. No two are alike. What is the same is the love quilted with each stitch. This evening, it is our honor to award each of you your Quilt of Valor. While we will always remember those killed in action and those still missing in action, a Quilt of Valor is for you, the living. Today, we offer you comfort and healing. We offer you our deepest gratitude for your sacrifice. As you are wrapped in the warmth of the quilt, we ask you to accept a hug. It comes not only from us, but from all of our members. The certificate that accompanies it reads, "The Quilts of Valor Foundation wishes to recognize you for your service to our nation. We consider it our privilege to do so. Though we may never know the extent of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States of America, we award you this Quilt of Valor as an expression of gratitude from a grateful nation." And our first quilt is awarded to E4 Alton Barth. Alton served in the U.S. Navy February 1960 through November 1963 as a ship Fitter, 3rd class, and served during the Vietnam War. Thank you, sir. Staff Sergeant Dennis Larson. Dennis served in the U.S. Air Force 1966 to 1970 during the Vietnam War. He was in Vietnam November 66 to October 67. He trained at Lackland Air Force Base as an aircraft mechanic. He also visited many, many places in the Southeast Asia because he was a crew chief on a 130. Thank you, sir, for your service. Corporal Rita Rendell. Rita served in the U.S. Marine Corps 1980 to 1985. She was a cook for both officers and the enlisted men. She served during Lebanon and the Grenada era. Thank you for your service. E5, Ronald Olson. Ronald served in the U.S. Army 1969 to 1972, and he was in country in Vietnam. And you may see the pin that both of these are wearing. They're for the family members of those who served in Vietnam. And I do have some over in my booth, so if you'd like to come and get them, I'd be glad to let you have one. Thank you much.
Thank you very much. Give another round of applause for those veterans.